having bites all the time. Something on here. Got to take on this rod as well. Fight's a bit better. In fact, the fight is much better. Lovely bass. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're back down a popular spot I go to, Watwick Steps. We're just on the low tide at the moment, and what I'm going to do is fish probably 3-4 hours up. I'm not going to fish all the way to the flood today because it was that Storm Eunice.
Storm Eunice was its devastating winds.
Whatever it's called, yesterday. So there is a lot of debris in the water. You can see the big waves. I think the waves just out from here on the lighthouse, we've recorded about 8 meter waves, sorry, much bigger than 8 foot. So you can really see there's a lot of grit, a lot of branches which have come down the rivers into the water, and just a lot generally in the water column. Hopes though is that you know, it's dug up the bottom, and the fish are going to be on the feed following the storm. I know a lot of people say that just following the storm, what you want to do is get fishing. Apparently the fish are out more feeding, I don't know. So what I found is a little gap at the moment. Where I am at the moment is quite shaded, which is beneficial. So I am able to fish, and I'm able to fish quite comfortably. You know, I've got a massive landmark behind me, which is fantastic. So hopefully we'll get some lines in the water, hopefully get some fish, and hopefully we'll get a good video for you guys. There you go. So on this rod, we've just had our first bite. Oh, I hope he's still on. It was a nice take as well, but I missed it putting the camera away. So if it goes again, I think we'll take him. Do you know what I think we'll do? I think we'll strike into it. No, I must have missed that one. Bait's pretty chewed up. Got a take on this rod, albeit it looks like a dogfish bite, but I'm hoping it's something better. You know, I'm hoping the dogfish like to come out in the dark, and that this is something better. But let's just see. Lovely bass. Ah, what a corker of a fish. Absolutely, that's the first cast. There you go. So that's actually the first cast we've had. Really difficult to land him because it's got on the low at the moment. He's taken a whole squid there, so I won't weigh him. Quite small, but that's brilliant for the first cast. What we're going to do is get this one back really quickly. I think he's about the limit, but obviously it's winter now, so I don't think we can keep them at this time of year. I think 1st of March it is that we can start keeping them from. Line's a mess, so I'm going to sort this one out really quick. So before it gets dark, I just want to talk about bass generally and where I've been most successful fishing for them. This will apply both to lure fishing and bait fishing. So the thing I found with bass is generally I catch them more on the low tide more than I do on the high tide. The most times we've been successful in catching bass is probably the start of the low tide and about 2 hours up. And I find the reason for that is the water's just starting to come in. You may get worms come up, you may get prawns which are washed up on the beach, you may get anything, you may get crabs coming out of the rocks, and the bass sort of cotton on to that. And often really shallow, that's when they'll start rummaging for food. So a lot of people as well, when they're on the beach, they'll ping a bait out miles and think, why is there no bass? The bass are often very, very shallow. For example, in this mark, I've got a bait out, one to my right and one to my left. The one to my right is probably 10 meters depth of water. I'm very doubtful I'd have bass there. I've had huss there, not flatties, I've had ray, and what else have we had there? Plentiful of dogfish. But I don't find I get many bass there, and the reason I think for that is, as I said, they go around rummaging the shallows. So what I've done, pinged a bait out to the very left, which is sort of just coming in from the beach. And not too far in, it's not right in this, you've got the beach here, it's not in the middle, it's sort of just off the edges. I find that's where it collects all the bait, that's where all the natural bait would be, and perhaps where the worms, and maybe not worms, but where the bait will be. So that's generally where I've been successful in fishing for bass. Okay, so we've got a big gold squid going out on the pulley panel here. Always pulleys at this rig, at this mark, just get around those rocks down there. And hopefully bang this one out pretty far. There you go, lovely. Alright, so I'm gonna show you how I bait up for that bass. The bigger the bass, the bigger the bait, technically. When this small bass season, you know, you get a lot of small bass in the summer. I find in the winter you've generally got bigger bass because the bigger bass stay around, they don't go away for the winter, and that's generally, in my opinion, I think in the opinion of others as well, that's how it works. So obviously at this time of the year, it's early February, you get generally bigger bass about. So I'm using size 4.0, I think these are 3.0 hooks. Bass have got big mouths, see, so you don't want to use size 1.0 hooks and things like that, just because they may slip the hook. I think we've got a bite on that rod now. Essentially what I'll do is get the first hook in. This bait's a little bit softer than I'd like, and I'll just bait elastic that, and you can see that I'm bait elasting around the eye of the hook. Some people in the comments may say these hooks are a bit rusty. Yes, I'll agree they are. They're all I really had to make some rigs with this weekend, because I'm back down in Pembrokeshire. So they'll do the job. They caught the bass. I hooked in quite well, so it was fine. On a clear water day, I'd be a bit more cautious about my bait presentation, but because the water's quite murky today and it's after a storm, it's not very clear, so it's that scent which is the most important thing. This hook, which is quite rusty again, I'll go down to about here and I'll do 1 wrap, 2 wrap, push it down, and just in the top, just like that. And that way then, fish comes here, it's hooked, fish comes down, it's hooked. That's generally how a pulley panel works. When the fish takes the bait, that'll lift up because it's on a pulley bead, and that is about it. Grippers today, 5-ounce lead, which I found actually going around the beaches on the low tide. Found quite a few leads with Lucy, which is brilliant, saves me a bit of money. So this rod here has been bugging me for ages now. I think there's possibly something on, and it's just sitting there. So I think in 30 seconds time maybe I'm going to bring it in. Yeah, do you know what? Bring it in. If there's nothing on, we'll have a fresh bait change and that way then we can settle the debate about whether something is on. If it is, it's something small, maybe a tiny little strap. If there isn't, something nibbling away. Feels like possibly there is. Yeah, I think there is something on. Yeah, there is. Feels quite a decent size, you know. It's not fighting very much. It's staying very deep. Yeah, a bloody dogfish. He must have been on there quite a while. So, people who catch dogfish a lot of the time, or have caught dogfish now and then, will know that their skin is like bloody sandpaper. I know these run wrong, but I want to use my left hand. Bit weird, I know. But you'll know with them, their skin is bloody awful to touch. And he's taking that hook nicely. But one thing you can really get the camera in the right place. He's tiny, he's a little small one. One thing you'll see about dogfish is that they've got plentiful supply of spots. In comparison, a huss will have less spots, but much bigger and spread out. So that's often how you tell. Huss are generally much bigger as well. You can tell as well by the nasal cavities, if you can see them there. Then flip over. You'll often see there's a little flap on the nose, and if the flap connects to the mouth like that, it's often a good telltale whether it's a dogfish or a huss. So one thing I'd say is have a little Google. Come on, don't go in there. No, there you go. Have a little Google, and there's a good picture which shows the difference between a huss and a dog. We have just got a lovely big take on that whole mackerel. Had a really big pull to start it off. Oh, don't tell me there's something on that one as well. You know, it's getting really, really busy in the water at the moment. I'm having bites all the time. Something on here, likely a dogfish. Decent size, possibly a big dog. Staying deep. What's that? Yeah. Doggy taking an entire mackerel. Wow, he's really battered up my rig. There you go. There's a knock. And that doesn't look too big. Get a nice. Oh, that feels a decent size. The only thing with this mark seems to be the sheer amount of dogfish you have. Yeah, I think this is a dogfish. It fights like a doggy, so I imagine it's a doggy. You know, we've got big flow in the water at the moment. The tide is coming in at some pace. Yeah, see, as I expected, just another one. Oof. Just at the same time as I turn the camera off, we've got to take on this rod as well. That'll mean we don't have any baits out. Be nice if it was something different. No, it's another dogfish. Some interest on that right rod. There we go. Something's tapping away on that right hand rod, as you can see. I think we've got a slack liner there actually. No, there you go. Something's on. As usual, I think it's, you know, a dogfish. Doesn't feel too heavy. Oh, look at that water coming in now. Yeah, I think it's a doggy. Yep. Oh, he's actually off. Not that I'm going to complain again. At the same time, we've got bites on the left rod. That looks a nicer bite. That looks much nicer. Fight's a bit better. In fact, the fight is much better. Let's hope it's a bass. Hey, this one's sitting quite deep for a while. What's that we have there? Oh, dogfish. Sadly, this one's not slipping off. He's stuck nicely. Oh god, absolutely boiling. But I just got the rest of the video off. The swell just got absolutely massive, so it wasn't really safe to fish. So I packed up as quick as I could, really got out of there. But the last fish we got was that big conger. Nothing too big, probably weighed, oh, I don't know, 7 pounds, something like that. Nothing major, but he fought really hard. It felt bigger on the way up. But there we go. I said successful night. We've had bass, conger, and plentiful supply of dogfish, probably about 10. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you could drop a like, please subscribe, hit the bell notification thing so you can get notifications of future videos. And if you fancy leaving a comment, maybe just about the video, how fishing's been for you lately, whatever you want, I'll be grateful.